Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about multiplying decimals and whole numbers. Yesterday we were making sure we understood how there are patterns that emerge when we're multiplying decimals and whole numbers, but today we're actually going to be multiplying numbers other than just, 1, 2, or not 1 and 2, but 1, 1/10, 1/100th, and so on and so forth. So we're going to start off with looking at two numbers like 3 and 12 hundredths. Now you might be wondering, why do I have this big old base 10 block right here? Okay, well remember, when we are talking about decimals, a flat, this is representing flat, a flat is a whole. Okay, so basically right here I have the number 1. And when we're drawing it, we would represent that by just a square. And then if we have a tenth, which is what this 1 is right here, that would be represented by a long, or we could just draw it as a line. And in this flat, it would be one of these stacks right here. And then tenths are represented by just a dot, or if you want to draw a tiny little square, that can kind of work too. So we have a whole, we have tenths, and we have hundredths right here. So we can actually use this flat to multiply. The other thing I want you guys to remember before we get started is that when you see this multiplication sign, I want you guys to think of two words, okay? And those two words are groups of. So when you're multiplying, you're basically saying there are 3 groups of 12 hundredths. Okay, so sorry, I know my handwriting is horrible. We talked about that in the last video. So I have 3 groups of 12 hundredths. That's what I'm doing when I am multiplying. The other thing that you can think of is basically when we are multiplying, it's basically repeated addition. So really, what we could do, which is not ideal when the numbers get bigger, what we could do for this is we could just add 12 hundredths 3 times and we would get our answer. So I'm going to show you guys real quick how we can use a flat to multiply decimals. So in our first problem here, we're going to be multiplying 3 times 12 hundredths, or we're going to find 3 groups of 12 hundredths. So the first thing that we have to do is I'm going to take my little highlighter here, and we are going to find one group of 12 hundredths first, okay? Now, when I have 12 hundredths, that means there are going to be 12 of these little guys right here, 12 of these little squares. So I'm going to go ahead and color in 12 of them. Now, like we just said, one row of these would be 10 hundredths, or 1/10, right here. And then but we still, so we have our 1/10 right here, but we still have 2 hundredths. So I'm going to color in 2 more hundredths right here. And already you can see I have 12 hundredths right here. Okay, well, do I just have one group of 12 hundredths? No, I have 3 of them. So I'm actually going to pick another color. Let's go with blue, Michigan. And I'm going to go ahead and, that's not blue. How's that blue? Oh well, pretend that's blue. So I'm going to go ahead and color in another group of 12 hundredths. Now we can't just do one whole stack because our 200ths kind of took over. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hundredths, but we need 12. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Here we have 12 hundredths. Okay. And make it a little darker because, we got to make sure we represent for Michigan. All right, so we have 12 hundredths right there. So now we have 2 groups of 12 hundredths, but we need 3 groups of 12 hundredths. So I'm going to go back to yellow. I'm going to use that again. I'm going to color in 12 more. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 groups, or another 12 hundredths right there. All right, so right now, if you look, I'm basically showing you what your answer is going to be right now. So, but we have to count it out, okay? So first of all, we're going to decide how many tenths do we have, first of all? Well, I have 1 row filled in, 2 rows, 3 rows. So that is 3 tenths. So I'm going to put my 0 and my decimal. I have 3/10, and how many hundredths do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hundredths. So our answer is going to be 36 hundredths, and if we counted these out individually, we would come up with 36 of them. So my answer would be, of 3 times 12 hundredths, my answer would be 36 hundredths. Okay, so that is kind of how multiplication and, excuse me, how you can use base 10 blocks to multiply decimals. Now, on the test, as you know, there are going to be a lot of word problems. So the next problem we're gonna look at a word problem, and we're going to use another flat to answer this. All right, let's read through our question carefully before we answer them. Giant tortoises move very slowly. They can travel a distance of about 17 hundredths of a mile in 1 hour. Okay, so they can't even go a whole mile in an hour. They can only go 17 hundredths of a mile in an hour. If it, a giant tortoise, travels the same speed, how far can the tortoise go in 5 hours? So right now I know that I'm not going to need this 1 right here because that doesn't really tell me anything. It just tells me how many miles they travel in an hour. What I'm going to use is 17 hundredths of a mile right here, and I'm going to multiply that times 5 because we're trying to figure out how many miles he could go in, or how far he can go in 5 hours. I know how far he can go in 1 hour, so now I need to multiply to figure out how many he can go in 5 hours. So my problem is going to look something like this. It's going to be 17 hundredths times 5. And if you remember, I'm going to go back, use my highlighter here. I'll use 2 different colors. See, where's my highlighter? There we go. All right, so let's use this light blue. So remember, first of all, look at the problem. We're basically finding 5 groups of 17 hundredths. Okay, so I'm going to find one group of 17 hundredths first. I can find 10 right here. I'm going to count another 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 17 hundredths, but we need to find 5 groups of that. So I'm going to find another group of 17 hundredths. 1, 2, 3, and 10. So that's 13, but we need 17. So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 groups of hundredths. Now let's find our third group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we'll do 10 right here, so that's 16, and then we'll need this one at top to make 17. So that's 1, 2, 3 groups, but we need 5, so let's go back to purple. That's 9 right there. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 groups of, or 17 hundredths right there. Now that's 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. We need 5, so let's do one more. Blue, that's 2. And we have 10 right here, so that makes 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 17 hundredths. So now we just have to figure out what that all adds up to, because remember, multiplication is basically repeated addition. So let's go ahead and figure that out really quick. So I have one group of 10, 2 groups of, or 10, not 10, but tenths. 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, and then this is not a whole tenth, so we're gonna have to count out the hundredths. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hundredths. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tenths. How many hundredths? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 hundredths. So if I'm trying to find the answer of how far can the tortoise go in 5 hours, I just found my 5 groups of 17 hundredths, and my answer would be 85 hundredths. So he's almost to a mile in 5 hours, but not quite. So hopefully he can get to his mile. So my answer would be 85 hundredths. Now, I know that these videos can sometimes get a little long, So before I give you guys one more example, I want to show you guys a picture of my favorite dog in the whole world. This is actually not my dog, but it's my sister's dog, my sister and my brother-in-law's dog. And his name is Nutmeg, and he is so cute. He's only a few months old, and he's a golden retriever. And my brother-in-law, Morgan, is actually teaching him some tricks. So I have a real quick video to show you guys, and this is Nutmeg learning how to bark on command. But the way Morgan's training him to do it is he's saying, warn him, like, warn the person. So when he says warn him, Nutmeg is supposed to bark. So let's see if the video is going to play for you guys really quick.
Warn him. Good boy.
He is very cute, and I'm one of his favorite people. So, all right, now let's look at our last problem really quick. Now, this one we're not going to actually do a base 10 block. We're going to draw a quick picture. If a bald eagle's drink, oh goodness, I messed up on that one. If a bald eagle drinks an average of 1/1600ths of a liter of water per day, how many liters would a bald eagle need over the course of 5 days? So we're going to do the same thing that we just did, but instead of filling in the base, instead of filling in the flat, what we're going to do is we're just going to draw a picture of 5 groups of 1/1600ths. Okay, I'm going to use my red here. So I know I have one long, and 6 little unit cubes. So I have, oops, why is it not working? Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And, oops, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw it over on the other side here. 1 6/100ths. 3, 4, 5, 6. But remember, I need 5 of those, so I'm going to do another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And last but not least, I'm going to go back up to the top here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, remember when we're adding these, we do have to kind of regroup. So let's kind of group these together real quick. I'm going to use a different color. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now that's going to change those 10/100ths into a unit. So we're going to take this, and we're going to make another 10th. All right, let's see if we can make another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's group those off real quick. I'm going to make that into another 10th. See if we can make one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. So we actually just changed all of our hundredths into 3/10ths. Now we just have to count how many tenths we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tenths. So my answer to this question would be 8 tenths, or we could write it 0.8. So if a bald eagle drinks an average of 16 hundredths of a liter of water per day, how many liters would he need over the course of 5 days? Well, we figured out by drawing it out how many he would need, and that would be 8/10ths of a liter of water over the course of 5 days. All right, guys, now it's your turn. I came up with just a couple of questions, so this shouldn't take you too long. Make sure you complete these questions in your math journal. Please come to class prepared to discuss them, and also complete your WISC, your watch question, or watch summarize question. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.